Good morning, everyone. The topic is chosen for this particular project in cloud computing is Heroku as a cloud service for deploying the book service website. And I'd like to introduce my team members, Pawan, Ketan, I, and Aditya. And could you move to the next slide? Yeah. So let us begin by giving the track of this particular web application. We have chosen book service because it is serving basically two religious texts, the Bhagavad Gita and the Bible. And we have tried this as a demo-based project. We'll cater the demo during the presentation by my fellow team members. What this web application does is it provides the user with basic functionality to read and update the verses of the chapters in both these books. And we have tried to create this application using the technologies like Flask, Heroku, and PostgreSQL. And we have deployed the source code on GitHub using the version control system, that is Git. And in the end, we have used Heroku Cloud as the host, as it provides us basic functionalities and features with the Python support. And it also helped us to plugins to clone repositories and push back the committed changes to GitHub easily. So can we move to the next slide? Yeah, so let me introduce this web application. As we discussed earlier, this is based on the two religious texts, the Bhagavad Gita and the Bible. The technologies that we've used is, I'd like to explain that. First, I'd like to talk about Python. The basic code is written in Python to ensure the code readability and better understanding of libraries. Then we have used Flask and the PostgreSQL. So it is a powerful open RDBMS and it is compatible with the Heroku and the SQL compliance. So that's how this particular database helped us. Now for the deployment part, we have hosted this on Heroku Cloud. And since Heroku is a platform as a service, so it helped us to build, run, and update the entire code at the same time in the cloud. And for the database part, we have used the PostgreSQL database, and this particular database helped us for a better setup, and it provides the best security as compared to other cloud computing resource and with the database coping. So I think, yeah, now I would like to explain the benefits of Heroku as a PaaS in the next slide. Yeah, so why we have used Heroku in this particular project, I'd like to explain some of the benefits. First of them is it offers you pay as a go model. So you have to pay as you use the service. So you don't have to pay for a membership or a year or month membership. You just have to pay for the time you be using the service. So I think that's the best part. Other thing, it provides you a scalable environment for both the developer and coders who are working inside the cloud. And if we talk about speed, flexibility, and agility, I think it provides the best code run environment. That will be the third thing. Another benefit could be like Heroku actually is hosted by the AWS service as an industrial as a service. So you can also use the benefits of AWS and the functionalities of AWS. So a user can get both the features of AWS and Heroku at the same time. So that's another benefit. And if we talk further, Heroku provides the best security as we have discussed earlier. So finally, I'd like to talk about the Heroku development experience. It offers functionalities and features such as logging, monitoring, and the best developer experience as compared to other cloud computing services. So I think those benefits make us decide to use Heroku for this particular project. Now I would like to ask Aditya to continue further and explain us.
Thank you. Hello sir, I am Aditya Sharma. As we all know, all the applications require infrastructure. So we are using Heroku for that purpose. The main motive of the Heroku is that you write your code and they will do the rest. Heroku is a platform explicitly designed for development and deployment of applications. Heroku is an elastic, multi-language, multi-framework platform as a service. It gives everything we need to build, run, and scale our apps. Heroku core supports Ruby, Python, JS, Java, and PHP, but we can use any language that runs on Linux with Heroku via a third-party buildback. Here we are using Heroku CLI. Heroku CLI is command line interface that makes it easy to create and manage our Heroku apps directly from the terminal. We are using Heroku CLI. We are integrating our local development environment directly to the Heroku. Next. So the main function of the Heroku is that it offers us continuous deployment, which is that we develop our code locally, then we deploy it in the code to the Heroku and get the feedback, and then again we can develop it locally, and then again we can deploy it in the Heroku, and this process can go on. Here I have shown it by using the build log, in which first we have initialized the git using git init, and then using git add, the command which is used to add a changes in the working directory in the staging area. Then we have committed everything, which save the changes, and then finally git push Heroku master, which push all the things to the main master. The tools which we have used for our CI/CD pipeline, the CI/CD pipeline is a continuous integral, continuous deployment thing. It bridges the gap between development and operations teams by automating the building, testing, and deployment of the applications. The tools which we are using for that purpose is VS Code, GitHub. We all know about these two things, but the new thing is Circle CI. Circle CI is a modern continuous integration and continuous delivery platform. It is installable inside our private cloud or data center and is free to try for limited time. Heroku CLI, which I have already explained, and the Heroku Postgres, which I will explain further in the next slide. Next. So Heroku provides 3 managed data services to all customers, which is Heroku Postgres, Heroku Redis, Apache Kafka, and Heroku. But the Heroku Postgres offers us free tier. That's the main reason of using Heroku Postgres for us. Heroku Postgres SQL is a powerful open source object relational database system. PostgreSQL provides for storing different network address types. The CIDR data type follows the convention of IPv4 and IPv6. Next. The database schema that we have used here is we are using 2 database tables. First is books and user. Books for storing our verses and user for authorization purposes. Books have 6 types, data types, which we have used here. ID, book. ID is uniquely defined for everything. And books, we have used 2 books. Chapters, verses, which we will add. Date posted, which will automatically will be given when we add the verses, and the content. And the user is for authorization purposes. It has 3 things: ID, username, and the password. Thank you. Now I will request Pawan to take over from here.
Hello everyone. So I will explain the data flow diagram. We have different users with different access and roles. The first one of them is the reader, which have only read access. The second one is the contributor, which have read, write, and modify access. And the third one is the admin, with the all contributor above plus delete access. So we have the 2 databases. The first one is of user, which having the user access, and the columns of that is ID, username, and password. And the second database is books, which having the books, chapter, verses, and their content. The column are as follows: ID, book, chapter, verse, date, and content. Next slide. Moving on, I will tell you how we use the database, Postgres database, as mentioned by the Aditya. So to use the PostgreSQL in our database, as our database in Python application, we will need the scikop-g2 library. By this, we can connect to database URL in our code. So we can do it as follows. First, we have to import OS. Then we have to import scikop-g2. Then we have to connect our database URL to the environment key. Next slide, Ketan. So the workflow is as follows. The client requests the verses from our website, from which the request goes to Heroku, which is powered by our Heroku Postgres database. And then the request goes to our backend, which is integration of JS, CSS, HTML, Python, and SQL Alchemy as ORM. And ORM is the object relational mapper, which is used on top of our PostgreSQL RDBMS, which is relational database management system. Then the content fetched from our database goes to the Flask and then goes to the Heroku showed on the website and to the client. Next slide. So the module used, our first one is the Flask admin. So basically it solves the boring problem of building an admin interface on top of our existing data model. So it is powered by Bootstrap, which is very user-friendly interface, which lets us manage our web services. And we use that because it provides the CRUD functionalities, which is create, read, update, delete via single logic into our each model. So the database, so the dashboard is as shown below. Like we got very interactive UI of the admin dashboard. We can see the ID, book, chapter, verse, date posted and content at the same place. And here is the code for that. The first, we have to add the user and book to the database. And then we have to select the themes available for that. Next slide. So for using Flask CK editor, which is an integration of Flask for image uploading, code syntax highlighting, it gives a very interactive toolbar like this as shown in the figure. We can bold, italic, strike through, and many other things. It can be installed in a very simple way. Like from Flask CK editor, we have to import CK editor, then initialize it. And we also have to configure the configs of height and width of our this interactive UI. So now I hand over this to Ketan to further explain our project.
That we know that HTTP protocol is a stateless protocol. Means whenever a request is sent, it is fresh for it. It does not know about previous state. So to add a session layer, we use Flask login. It provides us with the login functionality for the user. This is how it's done. First we import it and then we initialize it. Another module is Bugswig security. So we know that we cannot directly store the password at the server in the raw format. We need to encrypt it. So Bugswig security provides us two methods, that is generate password hash and check password hash. So here's how we import it, and in this, using this, we can store the password in their hash, the hash of the passwords. Now coming to the different pages and their routes. So first page is the home page. This is the page that is displayed when a user arrives at our URL. This is our home URL, and this is the page that is displayed. So here the reader can select the book, that is Bhagavad Gita and Bible, select the chapter number and verse number. The chapter number and verse number are integer, and finally click on get, and he would get the verses. So here's how it works. This is the index route, and it has two methods, post and get. When the get is called, directly the index.html template is rendered. Here's how the template looks. So this is our backend code whose snippets are already present in our slides, and these are the templates. So this is the index route template. So here, this is our navbar, and this is our form. So here you can see that this is for selecting book, the chapter number, the verse number, and finally we click the button get, and then the form submits as a post request to the home URL. Now after the post request, we see when the method is post, it gets the book, chapter, and verse from the form, and then it filters from the database by book, then chapter, then verse, creates an object called post, and then finally renders the index template with the post object passed. Now the next page is the login page. This is for the contributors. They can click on login on the navbar, or they can go to /login, and it would return the render template in .html. So this is our login.html. Here, so this is our navbar. This is our form, where this is the username, password, and then the submit button. This form would submit a post request to the login URL. After the post request, we see this is the post method. So it would get the username and password, and it would filter from the database. And if user is present and password is present, it would check it using check password hash of user password. If it is present, then it would login user, as it would flash invalid credentials and redirect to the login URL. If it is successful login, it will redirect to the home URL. So this is how the login page looks. So username and password, and clicking on login button. Next is the add verse page. This is how the page looks. Here the contributor can select the book, the chapter number, the verse number, write his content, and then click on add verse. So this is its template. So this is the form, selecting book, chapter number, verse number. Here you can see for writing the verse, we have used CKEditor function, ckeditor.create. And finally the form would submit to add verse URL with a post request. Here's how the post request looks. So it would fetch the book, chapter, verse from form, and date posted and content. Finally, it would create an object called post using this, and add the post object to the database, finally commit it, and then redirect to the home URL. Few more routes, that logout and delete routes. So after the contributor logs in, he gets an option to log out on the navbar. So if he clicks there, it would go to he would go to /logout route, and from Flask login, the logout user function is called it would log him out. Another URL is for deleting any verse. Suppose if a verse is wrongly added, he can delete it and then add new verse. So this is how the delete route looks. Delete and the ID of the verse. So it would take the ID and filter the database by the ID and delete in the database, then commit it, and then redirect to the home URL. Now we will see a very brief demo. So here's how it looks. We can select the book, Bhagavad Gita or Holy Bible. Suppose Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 1, verse number 1. It's taking a little bit longer because sometimes Heroku gets slow. We are using the free version. Yeah. So, and this is the verse. Suppose if I keep the chapter and book same, change the verse number. So this is verse 3. Now, suppose if I change the chapter number, chapter 2, verse 1, and this is the verse. Now, what happens if I change the book? So we can see Holy Bible, and this is the verse. Now we see the add route. This is the add route for the contributor. select the book, chapter number, verse number, and finally write content and add verse. Now we would see the admin dashboard. So here's the dashboard for admin. You can see all the users and all the books and verses that we have included for the testing purposes. Finally, we can log out and re-log in. This is the login form, and this is how it looks. So now coming to the conclusion, learnings. So we were able to successfully build and deploy a dynamic web application where one can read verses from Bhagavad Gita and Bible. I say dynamic in the sense that the pages are generated from templates. They are dynamic web pages, and even the contributors can add new verses and they are saved to a database in the cloud. Now, in this process, we learned how the RESTful APIs work with the help of Flask, and we also understood how a PaaS platform works by deploying our apps on Heroku. And finally, we also gained some more experience in working with Git version control system. Now, coming to the references, these are the references and analysis of Heroku and AWS for growing startups, platform as a service, the next type of cloud computing, and finally, the book service repository by our professor, Dr. Animesh Chaturvedi. That's all from our side. Thank you.